can I get more therapy clients? This is the zillion-dollar question for therapists in private practice. And that's why we're tackling this topic on today's episode of Love, Happiness, and Success for Therapists. If you're a private practitioner with so much to offer, but maybe not quite enough clients, this one is for you. Today, we'll be going over so many different things, including a bunch of different marketing strategies that can help you connect with new clients. Additionally, we'll be covering things like networking and building a strong referral base. Also, the all-important client retention. It's always easier to keep a client than to get a new one, so we're going there. We'll also touch on the importance of specialization and a lot more things in store. So, lots to cover. Grab a tea. We'll get going. If this is your first time connecting, I am your host, Dr. Lisa Marie Bobby. My background, just like you, I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed psychologist, a licensed marriage and family therapist, a board-certified coach, an AAMFT clinical supervisor, and I'm also the founder of Growing Self-Counseling and Coaching, which is a pretty substantial group private practice. We have 50 plus clinicians running around here at this point. And a big piece of my job over the years has been the one going out into the world, marketing our services in order to keep all these amazing clinicians on my team full and, have access to as many clients as they'd like. So that's where I'm coming from. And some of these ideas that I'm going to be sharing with you today are coming from this experience. Let's first talk about some marketing strategies that are really important for clinicians in private practice, not just to know about, but to also be doing regularly in order to connect with fantastic new clients. For example, SEO. What is SEO? So glad you asked. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And this is how people find your website organically online. So by optimizing your website with relevant keywords, you can improve your visibility on search engines like Google. Content marketing is a big piece of how this works. So things like writing blog posts or creating videos about common therapy topics can do two different things that can help people find you, but also position you as an expert in your field and attract potential clients. It is also true that social media can be a really important and powerful tool for attracting new clients in this day and age. I personally have always been a little iffy about social media. It's really not my jam personally, but professionally, I am coming to grips with the fact that we need to be communicating on these platforms, but in a way that is both effective, ethical, and congruent with who we are and what we do. I recorded another podcast episode recently on this subject. I think I called it Therapists on TikTok, so check that out for more information there. But generally speaking, platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn can do beautifully to help you reach a wider audience. So on these platforms, you'll want to be sharing valuable content, engaging with followers, and also don't be afraid to show a little bit, at least, of your personality, because people really do want to connect with a real person, not just a professional profile. Another really important piece of effective marketing in this day and age is having a nice online presence. And this is another area where therapists often have questions around how to improve this. First and most importantly, make sure, one, you have a website, and then secondly, that it's up to date and also user-friendly. A great website should clearly outline your services, also provide a bit of information about your background, your approach, your education, and make it easy for potential clients to contact you or book an appointment. As an aside, be very, very careful about using an electronic records management system, such as some of the big ones who offer to host a website for you, because there can be some weird stuff going on with that. Refer back to another recent podcast that I did around, is your EHR sabotaging your private practice, for more information there. In addition to being careful about where you're hosting your website, look at it with fresh eyes, look at it as a potential client, and make sure that it's easy for people to use, and also that it helps people understand who you are, but also what you do, what you specialize in. You want a client that is your client to think, oh, this is for me. You might consider ethically using de-identified client testimonials. Also, to know this, it is really unethical to be soliciting public reviews from your clients. We as therapists cannot do this. If somebody freely offers some feedback and you are very careful to get consent and also de-identify it, that can be okay, but good therapists never ask clients to leave Google reviews, Facebook reviews, anything like that that will put your client's identity out there for all the world to see. When you're thinking about your website, you should also be thinking about how to optimize it for mobile devices. Just understanding that a lot of people aren't going to be on their laptop looking for you. They're going to be on their phones. So make sure your site looks good and functions really well on smaller screens too. Once you have all your stuff online nicely optimized and ready to go, you'll want to start working on one of the next important pieces of effective private practice marketing, and that is networking and referrals. So when it comes to this, there are a few really excellent sources. The first being colleagues. If you have colleagues that you know and like and trust, make sure that they know that you are accepting new clients, and also make sure that they understand what it is that you do so that they can then be thinking of you if they have clients that they need a source. You might be thinking, okay, sounds good, but how do I build a strong referral network? And there are a lot of different ways to do this, but personal relationships are truly the best. Just as a personal share, one of my very, very favorite things about growing self is our community. So for example, in my group practice, like probably others, we have a lot of collaboration, talking, getting to know each other, and there is a robust conversation always happening on like this internal, private, almost social network that we use. People be like, I need to find a great therapist in New Jersey. I said, could it be you? And kind of referrals happening back and forth. But, the people on my team that know each other and have been in consultation groups together, have had the opportunity to talk through cases together frequently, have attended trainings together. And so that familiarity is there. So that can be one fantastic reason to get aligned with a vibrant group private practice, because a lot of that networking and relationship building is going to be baked into that experience. But if you don't have that, there are other ways to do this. And the key is really building relationships with other professionals in your community. So you could think doctors who might be engaging with clients who could use your services, frequently school systems or school counselors, as I said, other therapists. You might also consider attending local professional networking events or professional organizations. Sometimes you might even find professional organizations that have a multi-dimensional thing. So not everybody there is a therapist. You might have a networking group and there's a real estate agent, an attorney, plumber, all kinds of different things, a hairdresser. Good to get to know some hairdressers. But they may be people who are talking to others and thinking, wow, this person really needs to talk to a therapist, and might think of you in that conversation. So it's great to expand all of your relationships, and even best, you might make some new friends in the process. But the most important thing when it comes to networking is not to be shy about asking for referrals, and always make it really easy for others to refer clients to you. Bonus points if you are also referring clients to other people. On this topic, we need to talk about something really important, and that is asking current clients for referrals. This one is ethically a little bit dubious for a couple of different reasons. First of all, you may have caught another podcast a while back when I talked about some common ethical conundrums, like when clients refer their friends and how challenging that that can be sometimes for a variety of different reasons. That can get messy. So we want to avoid having clients referring their friends, heaven forbid, their family members or their partners. Do not do that. And at the same time, there's nothing wrong with letting current clients know that you have a few openings, would be happy to help anybody they might know who could benefit from your services. But I think it would also be important to add a caveat. I can't work with anybody that you have a close personal relationship with, client, just so that they know then and there that if they do refer their sister to you, you are probably going to be making a referral so that nobody is surprised when that happens. So that's why here, when it comes to getting referrals from current clients, I have some question marks around that. Personally, this is not a practice that I ever engage in, and I would caution any therapists on my team or certainly clinicians that I supervise against doing this because of the problems that it can create. But I did want to mention it here because some clinicians do that, but you've been warned. Okay, now let's talk about client retention as being a way to fill your therapy practice. If you're serious about building your caseload, the real question here is maybe not even how do I get more clients? The zillion-dollar question is, how can I improve client retention? Meaning, how can I do a better job of providing value to the clients that I have so that they see this through? They don't drop out prematurely, they're happy with me, and they want to continue working with me. I'll just tell you that I've worked with a lot of clinicians over the years in growing self, and I have seen many times clinicians who really do have a lot of strengths, but who the practice is just fire hosing with new clients. They have so many new client consultation appointments being booked and opportunities to connect with new clients, and it's fizzling. They're not actually doing a great job of helping clients understand how they can provide value to them. But more importantly, we really run into trouble when those clients aren't sticking around for very long. That's a real problem. I want to say very, very clearly that we're also not doing a good job when we make our clients dependent on us. Our job is to help our clients grow into the kinds of people who do not need to talk to a therapist. We want them to integrate the things that we're teaching them and go out into the world using all the skills and strategies to get great results and develop other intimate relationships, emotionally intimate relationships with people that they can talk to about important things. So on the other side of this, if you have a bunch of clients you just catch and hold for like years at a time, that is another indication that maybe you're not doing as good of a job as you could be about helping clients come here, do what they need to do, and then be graduating them so that they can move on and you have space on your vibrant caseload to accept a new person to help. So what we're truly looking for here is a happy balance. Part of successful marketing is really being highly effective at what you do and having a client come in and seeing it through. In my experience with coaching clients, we can do fantastic work and make a lot of magic happen in usually between, I would say, 8 to 12 sessions. And I think with therapy clients, this can be a little bit longer, usually something like, 12 to maybe 20 sessions, but your clients should always be seeing improvement, substantial improvement within 8 to 10 sessions. If they're not, it might be time to reevaluate how you're working with them. And you can get more information on how to be a better therapist by scrolling back through other episodes in my feed if you'd like to check out some of those recommendations. But this is really important to be thinking about because keeping current clients happy and satisfied is just as crucial, potentially more so than attracting new ones, but being very careful as a therapist in private practice to always monitor the ethics around that, being very careful to not create dependencies or to maintain a relationship with a client that maybe they don't need anymore, but maybe you do for financial reasons. That is not ethical to do. We can't do that. In addition to just doing a good job, there are other ways to improve client retention, and that is to create a warm, welcoming environment, being sure your physical or virtual office is always a space where your clients can feel comfortable, and also comfortable with you, like emotionally safe with you. I think that consistent follow-up with clients is also key, being sure to send appointment reminders, checking on them between sessions, and also making it easy for people to reschedule if needed, because otherwise folks can drop off the map. It's also important for us to be easy to work with. And this can be something that a lot of clinicians in private practice don't think about, which is why I wanted to mention it here. So things like being very flexible about when you can meet with people can really help. I have seen clinicians be very restrictive and rigid with their working hours, and in that create a lot of barriers between themselves and prospective clients, and they struggle to fill their caseloads. So just understand that life is busy for your clients and that they really appreciate you being able to accommodate their schedules and being easy to work with, particularly if you offer services that appeal to working professionals with children. So think couples counseling. You might want to have at least 1 or 2 evenings that you see clients, maybe part of a weekend day where you're available. It'll just make it that much more easy for people to work with you. And when you do that, you'll win. Let's talk about specialization and niche marketing, because this is also really important for all therapists to be identifying a specialty niche that they can then be marketing to prospective clients. So I recorded a podcast on this subject not too long ago. So if you are still trying to figure out what you really want to be when you grow up, check that out. But the reason why it's so important to do this is because finding your niche sets you apart from other therapists. So quick rundown. The steps are just to think about the types of clients you most enjoy working with, the presenting problems that you're most passionate about or most qualified to address. And then once you've identified this, tailor your marketing efforts to be able to reach that specific audience. For example, if you specialize in working with teenagers, consider writing about that on your blog or talking about it on social media. Better yet, organizing your website to be talking about that specifically, so that when somebody visits your site, you are speaking directly to their concerns. They'll find your website and think, oh, this is for me. As you're thinking about your specialization, you might also be thinking, what additional certifications or training programs can help me attract more clients? And you are spot on in thinking that way, because continuing education is a fantastic way to stand out. So as you are thinking about your niche, also be thinking about certifications or training programs that align with this and give you opportunities to develop your skills and your competence to be of great service to the kinds of clients that you want to work with. Then, as you're putting together your website or talking about your services online, you'll be a trustworthy, authentic authority on the subject. I'll take a second to share a free resource with you on this subject. So in addition to the podcast that I mentioned about how to get clear about your therapy niche, which is available for you, you can find that on my website, growingself.com/therapists, or wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. But additionally, I have a brand new 2-part, totally free training on this subject for therapists who are considering becoming certified as life coaches. So for my own professional trajectory, I became a marriage and family therapist, a psychologist, all of these things, specialized in couples work. But then I decided to narrow my niche further. So I am a board certified coach, and I really specialize in coaching. I don't do clinical mental health. I am not seeking to connect with clients who are dealing with psychiatric diagnoses. I'm seeking to connect with the clients that I can serve effectively through coaching psychology. So helping them make changes and get better outcomes. If coaching is something that you are interested in, this free 2-part training will do a few different things. It will walk you through a series of exercises that will get you clear about your own professional trajectory and like, where is this going, whether or not you decide to pursue coaching at the end of it. So watch the videos. There's a big workbook that will walk you through a bunch of professional development exercises and also like some holistic life design work for you. But that additionally, you will learn a lot more about what coaching is, how it works, the process of becoming a certified coach, why you might consider becoming a certified coach, so that you can make informed decisions about whether or not that's something that you would like to do. You can sign up for this free training at growingself.com/coach. It is 100% free. I made this for you, and so I hope that you take advantage of it. So just to reiterate, the steps to this are first to get clear about your niche, listen to the podcast I recommended, and also download the workbook and watch the videos that I have for you, growingself.com/coach. And then secondly, figure out what you need to develop more authority in your chosen area of specialization and what types of continuing education could really help you stand out from the crowd. And then thirdly, to rebrand yourself. Take another look at your website, take another look at what you're putting out into the world, videos, social media, blog articles, things like that, and make sure that what you're saying is in alignment with what it is that you're doing so that the clients that you're connecting with are the ones that you want to be working with, but also the ones who could truly benefit from working with you. For me, this is coaching. I am known for being a therapist who coaches, but what do you want to be known for? If coaching is of interest to you, check out growingself.com/coach for that free training. But check out those resources anyway. Again, whether or not you decide to pursue coaching as a career path, going through the workbook and all of the different exercises will help you get clarity about your long-term career path as a therapist and how to design a holistic life plan that maintains balance between your career as a therapist, helps you get clarity about who you are and what you really want to do, and then how to make that happen for yourself so that you can attain the kinds of success that we're talking about here today. Let's talk about one more thing related to effectively marketing a private practice and connecting with more therapy clients, and that is some financial and other practical considerations. For example, another common question I get from private practitioner therapists is, how should I set my fees to make this worth my time, but also to attract more clients? And just to validate this, setting fees can be really challenging because you want to be fair to your clients while also ensuring that your practice is sustainable, and you need to be operating in reality and according to what the market can bear. Transparently, if your fees are too high, people will choose other more affordable options, particularly if you are a therapist who is specializing in clinical mental health, so working with people who have a psychiatric diagnosis, for whom health insurance would pay for that treatment. It's going to be a tough sell for you to talk them into why they should pay you $200 an hour when they could pay a less expensive copay for the same or similar service. So you have to be thinking about that. Now, you might also be paneled with insurance companies, in which case you don't have to worry about this unless you're really seeking more self-pay self-pay clients. This is a very important reason to consider moving away from the medical model. If you don't want to work with health insurance, you need to be helping people with presenting issues that insurance won't pay for. So this is why you might consider another podcast episode I did a while ago around, is it time to release the medical model, that talks about all of these different factors and can help you make some decisions about where you want to go with your practice. Do you want to stay accepting insurance and doing clinical mental health care, or do you want to branch out into other things such as coaching, where you're connecting with clients who insurance wouldn't pay for their services and they would be much more eager to just pay out of pocket? But when it comes to self-pay clients, I think the name of the game here oftentimes too is to be flexible and just to understand what people are willing to pay, what they're not willing to pay, and put yourself somewhere in that comfortable middle. Also, be sure to be really transparent about your fees and what your services include and don't include, because we need to start our relationship with clients off on the right foot. And I think they always appreciate clarity, fairness, feeling respected by you. And so the more transparent we can be at the outset, the better it will feel for them. Lastly, on the topic of how to connect with more therapy clients, there is one other thing that you need to be considering, and that is actually your practice management software, believe it or not. At this point, if you're in private practice, you for sure are probably with a platform that helps you run that practice. So things like scheduling, billing, client management, all in one place, which is fantastic because it saves us a bunch of time. It reduces our administrative burdens, which allows us more time and energy to be focusing on our clients. But also be super careful about the practice management software you choose, because there are some highly deceptive marketing practices that will actually siphon prospective clients out of your practice and into somebody else's. And that happened to me. I was absolutely shocked. I recorded another podcast on this subject. Scroll back through my feed, find it. Again, it is EHR sabotaging your private practice? Because there are some cautionary tales and things that you need to know about so that you can protect yourself from having that happen, because we all work too darn hard to make this work to allow that kind of BS to happen in our professional lives. Don't you agree? So I know that's a lot of information, but I hope you got a lot of helpful ideas about how to get more therapy clients that you can put to use in your own private practice. Now, I will also say that you might be listening to all of this and thinking to yourself, this sounds like a lot of work. And you are right. It really is. You may be a therapist who really wants to do therapy with therapy clients, and thinking about all of this marketing stuff makes you feel exhausted. You're not alone. Running a practice and figuring out this kind of marketing machine is a full-time job. It is my full-time job. And that all also needs to happen before you even see your first client a lot of times. So just real transparently, there are a lot of therapists, and you might be one of them, who's like, I don't want to do any of that. And so that is why you might consider joining a group private practice like Growing Self, that offers practice management services, where all of the things that we've been talking about today is somebody else's problem. Somebody else is taking care of websites and blog posts and social media and putting videos out there and doing networking and like making all of this easy, so you just sit back and receive all of these new client referrals. If that appeals to you, you can come to growingself.com/therapist to learn more about our group private practice opportunities. And here's a quick summary of the different resources that we discussed today, just to make this easy for you to find them. Check out that EHR podcast for sure. Also, check out how to get clear about your niche as a therapist. If you come to my website right here, come to growingself.com/therapists, you'll find just all of the different podcasts that I've put out, videos, audio podcasts, written articles, so that you can access everything that we're discussing. And you can also access that kind of career clarity free resource that I was telling you about, where you can access those 2 free trainings, that big workbook to create a holistic career path for yourself. Learn more about coaching if that's something that you're interested in. It is all available for you, growingself.com. One last resource that I hope you consider is to connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to hear more of your questions, your pain points. Today, we talked about how to get more therapy clients, but what else is on your mind? Let me know, or if you have follow-up questions related to this episode, I would love to hear them. Hit me up on LinkedIn. You can find me, just look for Lisa Marie Bobby. I'm here, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks again so much for joining me on today's episode. That's a wrap. We covered a lot of ground, marketing strategies to client retention and everything in between. But remember, the big key to connecting with more clients is to be authentic, but also to provide value, and most importantly, build strong relationships. So thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. And thanks so much for tuning in today to Love, Happiness, and Success for Therapists. And don't forget, if you found this helpful, share it. Pass this on to another professional colleague that you have who might be interested in what we're talking about today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, leave a comment. We can discuss your questions in the comments if that's easy for you, because again, I would love to stay in touch with you. So until next time, take care.